when you know who was elected 4 years ago? You know, Hillary Clinton didn't say, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right, stop the count. She didn't say, this isn't right, I'm not going for it. She didn't say any of that. So all of you, suck it up. Suck it up like we sucked it up. And if you are not sure that you're comfortable with Joe Biden, do what we did. Find things and then take it to the law. And if the law says it's something to look at it. But from now on, suck it up. Grow the pear for him that he can't grow for himself. Because this is ridiculous. You're not sure that he won. You're bringing into question all these Americans who voted legally, came out and stood and voted. How dare you question it?
Want to get it off your chest? Call the Dave Weinbaum Show. They accuse this show of being run by boobs. Well, let me tell you something about us boobs. We're real and we're spectacular. Want politics and fun sprinkled with a lot of laughs? You're in the right place. Heard in 50 states and 98 countries, we just put 11 years of radio excellence into the can. Now, in our 12th year, the Dave Weinbaum Show is on the air. So sad to have to report this. Trump has just given his concession speech. This is really an incredibly sad moment. And I don't want to disappoint my audience because I always level with you, but I think we have to play this now.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. The show goes on. This is my home. They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here. They're gonna need to send in the National Guard of fucking SWAT team, because I ain't going nowhere.
This is no time to turn the other cheek unless it's lower and on our backsides. This isn't the end of the fight. It's the beginning of the resistance. Where have I heard that before? Maybe we should set up a Biden-Harris for impeachment, like taking bribes from the Ukraine, $3 million off a Moscow mayor's widow for Hunter Biden, an Iraq housing scheme for the Biden family run by his brother. Oh, and his deal with our arch enemy, the murderers of 1 million plus and counting with the weaponized pandemic. With billions of dollars going to the Biden family. And let's call that country China. And calling for revolving doors for rioters like Harris has. After jailing hundreds and hundreds of young blacks for recreational use of marijuana while AG in California. And then we could tie them in with destroying our Supreme Court by adding 6 liberal judges all at once. And then we could defend our army. Defund it. Not defend it, defund it. The police. And letting anyone who wants to murder, rape, sell children for slaves, let them into the USA. Knock down the walls. And then we could add 2 states, D.C. and Puerto Rico, 4 more Democrat senators. And how about enemies lists? Should we have enemy lists for our opponents? Like was done in Germany in the 1930s? While raising our taxes and killing our economy and sending our just announced vaccine to kill the China plague, their idea is to send it to the rest of the world first and deny treatment to 75-year-olds and above. Wait a minute, I'm having kind of a flashback. Did I just imagine this stuff? Or is this all true? Again, victories often occur when you see no way to succeed, but refuse to give up anyway. Or am I wrong? It's Friday the 13th. My name is Dave Weinbaum. I'm 72 years old. And I'm here with producer J.P. Maxwell.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, J.P. And my lovely wife, Lisa Ann Strausser Weinbaum.
Good morning.
She's early today. And I predicted it. She's in a better mood, thank God.
And somebody had a birthday, right? Do we need to sing happy birthday to you?
No, you
on
don't
the
need
air?
that.
Oh, okay.
No, that's fine.
I
already mentioned
whatever
it.
happens,
I
don't let
mentioned
him
it.
sing.
Just send golf balls. How's that? All right, and Donald J. Trump, Ronald McDonald maybe, Donald J. Trump is still the president of the United States of America. And I think we have our first caller. I'm not sure who that is, but maybe we can play his song. What do you think? Yeah.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got
mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you, rock and roll. We will rock you. All righty. JJ, is that you?
You found me, Dave.
252 years old. And are you a veteran?
I am indeed.
Yeah, all right. I got some really hellish remarks last night from veterans who happen to be, I think some were Marines, because one of them said that Donald Trump said nasty things about the military, which were proven to be untrue. There's no witnesses to this, but I called him out on it. And boy, oh boy, did he get, threatening, guys threatening me and all that, and other guys threatening me. And then they blocked me, so I couldn't respond. What do you think of that?
Sounds like a liberal Marine. There aren't very many of them.
Are definitely Biden peeps.
You got to understand that there's a lot of pretenders in this world. I've run into a few folks that claim they were veterans, and within 30 or 40 words into the conversation, I knew darn well they weren't.
Yeah.
They were throwing around the jargon.
Sure.
But they didn't have the coolness. So take this stuff with a grain of salt. Now, did you say in your monologue that Donald J. Trump had conceded?
Yeah. Did you listen to the rest of it?
Go ahead.
Well, it was a bit sent to me by one of my bankers, Dave O'Reilly. See, I say one of my bankers because now that makes me look like a big shot, but it's true. I use a couple banks. And this guy's been a friend for like 40 years to me. And so he sent me this DiCaprio link that was in one of the Wolf on Wall Street movies. And I guess he was a crook, and so he gave did you listen to the speech?
No, I didn't. I wasn't even aware that it had occurred.
Oh, it hadn't. No, it was a joke. And I'm sorry if anybody is out there crying or jumping off a building or something. But no, Donald J.
Dave,
Trump has not resigned.
You just twisted my hemorrhoids up into a knot.
I'm
about
sorry.
A minute ago.
Wow, you know what? That's a vision that I'm not going to ever get rid of, and that's not good.
That's going to take you a while to get rid of that image. So
All right,
Donald J. Trump did not.
No, he did not
concede.
concede. Not to my knowledge, no.
Dave, you give me heart failure.
Jeez. Well, you had to listen to the second part of that. I hope people could hear that.
Well, I didn't hear it too well, but
wow.
If he had conceded,
Yeah.
anything that I was fixing to say would be irrelevant.
Well, it's relevant, so let's get it out before he does.
Well, okay, because I don't think he's going to.
No, I don't. I hope not. He should listen. He should listen to Hillary. Never concede.
I listen to Hillary?
That's right. Never concede.
You know, given that he did not concede, thank God.
Yeah.
What I had to say now is relevant. If you look at what appears to be the fraud, and the mainstream media keeps denying. Of course, this is the same mainstream media that declared Biden the winner very early on, and he's clearly not the winner yet. As a matter of fact, his potential electoral college votes keep shrinking. If you look at the fraud that has been perpetrated, in any election, you're going to have a few ballots that are fraudulent. I got no problem with that. But when you have wholesale fraudulent ballots being brought in by out-of-state cars, hundreds of thousands at a time, this is a conspiracy, and this is a conspiracy that's well planned and has been well executed. And thank God we've got people that are writing affidavits saying, wait a minute, I witnessed this, I witnessed that, I happen to have knowledge of this. Now, all of that goes to the courts ultimately, but we're on a short fuse timeline here. There is no pause button on this election. The Constitution demands certain dates have events occurring. And will this end up in front of the Supreme Court? Yeah, I think so. It's likely. I've never seen this kind of election fraud in my life.
Well, we've all seen it. I mean, it's, JFK's father bought off West Virginia. We just haven't seen it on this deep a level. I mean, Chicago's always like that. That people have been voting for centuries in Chicago. You know, so yeah, that's happening. But it hasn't. Can we prove it on such a large scale? Because we're not talking about 150 votes here, like the Al Gore Bush race was. Which, by the way, did any Democrats kvetch about Al Gore taking 38 days or whatever it took them to figure out that Bush had won? No, I don't remember that. So stop listening to them. Listen to Hillary. Don't concede. Whatever you do, don't concede.
Bush Gore came down to Florida. I can understand that. It was a dumpster fire, but I can understand it. But to have this happen, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada, for this to be as widespread as it appears to be, this has got to come right back to the DNC. This has got to come right back to these people that are saying, we will bury you. This has to be looked into. And the reasons for that is we're bordering on a civil war if we don't.
We're bordering on a civil war if we do. It doesn't matter. We're either going to turn around like a whipped Republican and take this, or we're going to fight like Americans, which we are, by the way, and we are proud ones. And I know you're one of the proudest ever.
Thank you.
We're just not going to take this. I'm not going to take it. You know, these guys are threatening me. I mean, they're young. They're young Marines and all that stuff. I'm 72 years old. I'm not backing down from them. Nah. I'm saying, bring it. What the hell?
Keep the mags loaded and the ammo dry.
There you go.
Now, Facebook, Twitter, a bunch of the social media platforms, if you've looked at the statistics, they are losing subscribers by the bucketful, partly because of their censoring of conservative views, their early call on the elections. I've been getting notes from a bunch of my acquaintances and friends that saying bailing on Facebook, bailing on Twitter, go to Parler,
right,
etc. Go to MeWe, and ultimately, I think I'll be doing that as well.
Yeah, I'm starting to pack the U-Haul in the back to get on Parler. I'm on Parler, by the way. I put some show notices on it, and I'd love to be on there streaming as well. We're streaming, by the way, on.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Twitter. You can go through the website, and then, of course, it'll be anywhere after the show, anywhere you can find a podcast, it'll be on there. And Aaron and I are looking into getting the show streaming on Parler and other platforms if we can, so we're looking at that.
We're now putting this show out like it should have been, and it took us a while. We had to get this thing fixed and up and running, and we've run some damn good shows here, especially with our leadoff. I don't know, who is that anyway? Is that JJ guy? Yeah. So,
I don't know who that is.
So, all right. What else you got for under that tinfoil hat of yours?
Well, the Wicked Witch of the West, Comrade Pelosi, she just never fails to amuse. Most entertaining woman. I'd love to throw a bucket of water on her and see if she melts. She has introduced what's called the Election Reform Bill, H.R. 1, which is a redo of a 2019 bill that she introduced called For the People Act of 2019. And I read this little tome yesterday, and talk about the Dems winning elections from here on out. If this thing would ever pass, God forbid it ever passes, it would ensure that the Democrats win election in perpetuity. It would take our electoral system and turn it into some third world country. And she's got some interesting stuff hidden in there. But the long and short of it is it ensures that the Democrats will stay in power, just like some tin pot dictator, forever and ever.
Well, but she might have lost her position via the fact that if she gets the Republicans have gained 5 to 10 seats. They don't know. Some of those races haven't been called yet. But if that happens, and she gets the same 10 negative votes she got the last time, she's out as Speaker. And,
well, good.
And maybe AOC is in. I don't know. There's a lot of angst in the Democratic Party, and that's because a lot of the more moderate Dems are tired of this crap, and a lot of them they lost because of this in the moderate areas. Because the people were looking at them like they're the same as the socialists. So there's a little bit of a civil war going on right now in the Democratic Party.
I think that's going to stay going no matter who wins the presidency.
If they don't speak out against the socialist wing of the Democrat Party, they are guilty by association. And that goes with the Republicans, too. The moderate Republicans who've remained silent for so long now, heck, they're guilty, too.
All right. So tell me, what else is under your tinfoil hat?
Well, that one last thing, and that's Dominion voting systems.
Yes.
Their software.
Yeah.
It's being uncovered as we speak that there's a bunch of glitches in that software, and it's likely that software has been overridden. One of the things that surprised me, I was listening to Dan Bongino the other day, and apparently when Dominion's voting system software was put into place years ago, the CIA and the FBI had them right in a back door so that they could change votes in foreign elections.
Yeah.
Now it looks like it's being used on us. Another thing that troubled me greatly is these Dominion systems are linked within the polling place to a server, which is not supposed to be linked to the internet or any outside source in any way. This is what keeps the Russians from meddling with things through the internet. Apparently, some of the Dell computers that they used as servers had all sorts of internet stuff on them and actually had a connection. So all of this is being looked at. I was reading some hacker stuff yesterday, and apparently the hackers are finding their way into this stuff way quicker than the FBI has. I guess that doesn't surprise me much. But look at this. Our FBI, our CIA, our Department of Justice, and now our electoral system have all been politicized.
Yeah.
And, that came to be during Obama's administration. That's when the I can't even pronounce that.
It's a deep swamp, my friend. A deep swamp.
That's
all
when
right.
that politicization occurred.
The phone is ringing off the hook, but I want you to think about this. If Trump doesn't concede and they don't have the votes to give it to Biden, they can't sanctify the election. You know what happens?
Well, two things. In one extreme instance, Nancy Pelosi becomes a temporary president. In the other situation, it becomes a vote of the states, and we've got 37.
That's right. The vote of the House of Representatives, one vote per state, and we control 37 of those.
Yes.
In the House. There it is.
I pray that it doesn't come to either of those.
Well,
but you recognize if the Dems actually win this, all of the investigation that has occurred over such a long time is going to vanish.
Well, I say you keep it going because they're finding out. It's only 10 days after the election. They're finding out new stuff concerning maybe 1 million or 2 votes. And the other question is, you've got the voting itself. Biden's got like 75 million and Trump has 72 million. How many voted in the last election? It was about 25 million less.
More.
Or more. It was 25 million less.
Now.
Less and more now. Where did all these people come from? What did we have? Did we have so much... So many babies born, or people just turned voting age all of a sudden?
No,
I mean,
there are a lot of graveyard votes in that.
There's a lot more than graveyard votes. There's made-up votes.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, my friend, thank you so much once again for being the opening act on the Dave Weinbaum Show. I am so sorry that I scared you into twisted hemorrhoids.
Yes, just remember that image.
Oh, God,
Dave,
thanks.
God bless you. Love your show.
God bless you. Thanks so much, JJ. All right, who do we got here? Okay.
We've had a couple of different people call in, so we can try to call them back.
Yeah, call them back. I wish I'd listened to the shows and know that I'm talking. And we got to get the 3-line system set up. You know, JJ, I want you to work on that. All right. That way we can keep people on hold. At least we hold on to them. So now they think I'm the pizza guy or something. I don't know. Social Security. Here we go.
Or spam risk.
Huh?
Or a spam risk.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, you'd know it. Hi there.
Hi.
Is this Adolph? Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I got rid of that silly neck brace.
Oh, well, congratulations.
You betcha. Doctor said I was normal.
Really?
He didn't define normal, though.
Did you? Yeah. Did you check? Did you get a second opinion?
Nope.
One doctor told me I was ill, and then I went and got a second opinion. He said, the second opinion said, and you're ugly too. Bada boom. All right, what's going on, my friend?
It's going to be an interesting election, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean gonna be? It already is. I thought the election was over, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you would think so. Yeah, the sad part about it is a lot of these people that are involved in this phony electioneering, that election stuff, they should be hauled off to jail. But not one of them will.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, they should be. It's. Listen, this is the final step of the coup, as far as I'm concerned. This is their final step. Now, Trump's got a bunch of options, and he needs to keep them all open as long as he can, because he could go to the House if this thing isn't called officially, and have the House decide, and we have the advantage there. So
Well, the really bad part about it is if they go along with this election and Biden does end up getting to be Trump, the president. Oh, I hate that. You know what's coming.
Well, yeah, a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah,
all over the world.
They're going to do is, they're going to tear down the wall and open up the Mexican border.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. I don't think we got to keep the Senate. That's the key. If we keep the Senate, we can stop a lot of stuff. Maybe not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure about the immigration. There's a lot of stuff they'd have problems getting through, like the Supreme Court thing. That would be a problem.
Yeah. Well, they can mess with the tariffs. Change that all around.
Yep.
They'll refinance the PLO, cut Israel's funding, and we'll be back in the Paris Climate Accord.
Yep.
And fracking will disappear. All
World Health Health Organization, WHO. They're going to rejoin that. Yep.
Yeah. And then the real bad one will come along, and they'll exonerate all them bad FBI agents.
Oh, sure. Well, that's what they're all counting on. So, but we got to keep fighting. We can't take this.
There's already hundreds and soon to be thousands of people signing affidavits on this fraud. And when you sign an affidavit, you're putting yourself on the risk of perjury if you're found to be, not telling the truth. So
sure.
There you go.
Sure, they've got. If
we were pretty honest here, so I can't file an affidavit here.
Well, you're one of the judges. Of course, they're honest there, or you'd kick their ass. Neck brace or not.
For real.
All right, what else you got for me?
I'm just saying that red is an awful lot like the sun.
How's that?
Well, especially you consider an unleavened bread. Well, bread is like the sun. It rises in the east and sets in the west.
Do you? Yeah. Lisa set off the smoke alarm last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Either she's a lousy cook, or she's hotter than I thought. You like that one, honey?
Where are you doing the cooking at?
In the house. I'm serious. This actually happened last night.
It's been a bad week.
I get my jokes are realistic. I get them off of her mainly. She's funny. She doesn't even know she's funny. All right, my friend.
There you go.
Hi to your lovely bride, Joanne, and you take care, okay, pal? I'm glad you got your brace off.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. Okay, well, we got Rabbi coming up shortly, and tell you the rest of the show. Cheryl Chumley's here. She missed the election week, and now she's got some splaining to do because she, like me, predicted a Trump victory. We've got the crazy, funny, and patriotic Cuban refugee Liz Cabrera. See, I can roll my R's like that gal in the AT&T commercial. And Elad Hakim, the lawyer. Oh, that should be interesting. I should have asked JJ about him because, I can't believe that JJ. Do you think everybody thinks that Trump conceded now because I said that?
I don't think so, but I mean, it's obvious he's not going to, so I would hope not.
No, okay.
He doesn't have any reason to.
No.
I think you should make it clear that that's false.
Yeah, Trump has not conceded. We played a little game. All right, jeez. Okay, straighten out those hemorrhoids, JJ. Hey, do we have a call that you can call back or what?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you do that? See, I taped the rabbi yesterday because it's the Sabbath where he calls from in Israel. So, that'll be on. I can put that on in a couple of minutes. We got Cheryl coming on at 10.
Hello, Dave.
Hi there. Who's this?
This is Brian from Salem.
Hey, Brian. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, not a whole lot. I just thought I'd make some comments about the election fraud.
Go ahead.
First off, have you heard about the situation where they found a bunch of computerized counting that went bad?
Yeah.
In other words, did you heard about that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I want to make sure I heard right. They were basically, the computers were adding votes for Biden, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. I think when this country is through this mess, if we can get Donald Trump in there, we had better clean this up. And I mean clean it up all the way down to bare metal. And here's the reason why. We have one more term of Donald Trump that we've got to get this right. Otherwise, they will steal the next election if they don't steal this one. Okay.
Well, they're trying to steal it. It's pretty obvious.
I know they are, and Donald Trump's fighting back like a cornered rat, which is good. But
I think he's a little smarter than the cornered rap. I would not misappropriate Donald Trump's character in that method. He knew this was coming.
Well, that's true. I'm sure he did. But
and
still,
they're out there fighting
in the future won't be that good at fighting back.
Well, I would agree with that. He's going to be the standard bearer for the Republican Party, just like Lincoln was for a century and a half. I believe he's going to be the standard bearer.
When you're talking about that Dominion system with this voter fraud, they're saying that it affected as much as 28 states, and all the swing states are included in that, and maybe up to 30 to 40% of the total vote.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that a bit. We need to go back to paper ballots, and we need to count them as soon as they leave the ballot box. I don't agree with videotaping somebody putting their ballot in the box, because then you can count them back and figure who voted for who. But as soon as the box is unlocked and opened, then they need to be counted by hand on videotape so that there is no way. I mean, you cannot fudge results like that.
Well, you have to have observers there, too. And they kicked out the Republican observers in Detroit and places like that.
I know the law says they can be there. But what is not clear at this point is what is the remedy if they are kicked out. And I think what it needs to be is that any time there is a overt and very large-scale, obvious, blatant attempt at voter fraud or impropriety, that precinct's entire vote, everything, from the dog catcher to the president, ought to be thrown out. They don't even get to vote.
Okay, so, but we gotta make sure we have enough Trump votes to win.
So another person that I heard from gave I guess this is done in some other countries that are not as far advanced as we are. What he said is that what could be done is you make the investment in the infrastructure, and that means you put electronic systems everywhere across the country, and then when somebody votes and hits submit, it then prints out a paper copy that's exactly identical to the electronic copy, so you have electronic tracing and a paper match. And that way you go back and look at it and say each paper match or each paper should have electronic match, and if they don't, then you can count on being fraudulent.
Well, I'm just going to say this. People have been cheating on elections for a long time. I don't believe they've ever even come a smidgen close to what they've done this time.
I agree with you. Yeah.
And I think there's 25 million extra votes out there somehow. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like his idea of paper proof printout, but I don't like it in the fact that it takes time to go and gather those up or have people turn them in to see how the election really should have been. I think we need to make sure there's no chance to do any fraud in the computer system, because I am a programmer of industrial control computers, which are not very smart computers compared to the stuff that they use in the polls. And I know this for an absolute fact, that you can program a computer to act one way one day, like when they're testing the ballot counter machine before, a few weeks or a few days before they actually put it out there and use it. And it would behave honestly at that time. But then on November 3rd at 7 o'clock in the morning, local time, the computer would switch itself over to being dishonest, which is, it is so simple to do that, even in one of those dumb little industrial control computers. If they can do it on that, they can do it real easy with a computerized vote count with a more intelligent computer.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, if there's a way to cheat, they'll find it. I don't care what it is.
That's why it needs to be on videotape.
Okay,
everything.
All right, well taken. All right, my friend. I got to go. I got to squeeze the rabbi in now because I've got a 10 o'clock coming up, okay?
All right,
Brian, thank you so much. Are you still in Salem or are you still in hiding?
I've moved, but I'm in Salem currently.
Keep moving. They'll find you someday. You know that, right? I don't even know what the hell you're running from, but keep moving. All right, thanks, Brian. Always great to hear from you. All right. Let's see. We got a Sicilian moment, don't we? Why don't we play that? Love the Sicilian moments, you know that. Never trust wrong people who say the right thing. Forget about it. You know, there's a lot of wrong people who are saying things that are opposite what they really want to do. And you got to be real careful about these people. You don't want to forget about them because they're going to say one thing one day to get elected, and then another thing the next day that they're actually going to screw you. We don't want to be screwed, okay? We don't want to be screwed with. We just want to live our lives. We want to get a job. We want to make some money, have a wife, have some kids. In the case of a woman, have a husband and have some kids. And we want to be happy. We don't forget about that. That's America to us. All right? We don't forget about America. Okay, so now, what, did you have something to pipe in?
Are we going to have kids?
Huh?
Are we going to have kids?
We do.
Oh, okay.
Gracie and Ralphie.
Oh, God.
And what about Malcolm?
Oh, God.
We've got a parrot, and the parrot is so cute. He actually said, I love you yesterday, or 2 days ago. Did you hear him?
To me or to you?
I'm pretty sure it was to me.
Okay.
You don't scream.
Okay,
I don't scream
very
at him
good.
like you do.
Oh, please. I don't scream at him.
You scream at the dogs.
No, no, no.
Ralphie.
I'm very genteel and
Ralphie,
because they're so well behaved.
Ralphie is so much in your hypnosis. You've so hypnotized him that he follows you everywhere now because you yell at him.
I don't think that's exactly right, but you keep working on your theory over there.
Yeah, well, no. I've witnessed it. All right, now let's go to Israel. Let's go to Efrat, Israel, and visit with Rabbi Moshe Rothchild.
Yeah, 1 second, Dave. You were talking to another rabbi? Sounds like you're cheating on me.
No, actually, I'm cheating with you on him because he was the first rabbi. Listen to this. I got rabbis fighting over me. This is kind of weird. Ladies and gentlemen, second most powerful in Israel and his own home, according to his wife Yunit. He aligns Christians, Jews, blacks, Muslims, and he's official rabbi to Missouri and the future rabbi to the Trump Third Temple Hotel, Golf Course Casino, and Spa. Please welcome all the way from Efrat, Israel, Rabbi Moshe Rothchild. There you go. Woo-hee. Hi, Rabbi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Dave. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hey, has Israel missed its chance to buy the COVID-19 vaccine from Pfizer?
Well, we hope not. I mean, Israel dragged its feet for a long time, and then finally our prime minister got on the phone and called the CEO of Pfizer. So it looks like they're going to be able to salvage it, and we'll get some of the dosages of the. I think Pfizer's planning to produce 600 million dosages.
Wow.
Doses. And then, I mean, we're a country of about 9.2 million, so it's a very small number.
Well, you know,
600 million.
If that deal doesn't work, now the Pfizer, allegedly the Pfizer vaccine has a 90% success rate, but Vladimir Putin's got 92% effective. Yeah. And you know what the secret ingredient is? You know what the secret ingredient is, don't you?
Yeah.
What?
Vodka.
Vodka. I had that written down too. Yeah, so that could be, that's you have to have other outlets. So,
yeah,
anyways,
exactly.
The Muslim
Israel ordered from also from Russia and from China. Believe it or not.
Wow. Okay. You gotta love that Chinese food. Hey, the Muslim Brotherhood is ecstatic about Biden, as are the Palestinians. How does the other Arab countries and the Abraham Accord feel about this?
I mean, look, anyone that remembers the Obama-Biden administration here in the Middle East is not happy about that. I mean, we just think we're getting, Obama Part 3,
Yeah.
and they did not stand, with the Gulf states here against Iran, and or against the terrorists of ISIS. And that's, in a way it's good for Israel, because now with the weaker the United States in this region, that's really going to push Saudi Arabia and these countries that were sitting on the fence towards Israel, because Israel's a regional power here that can really offset Iran.
Sure.
And with, I'm saying with Biden now and Trump, if Biden is declared the winner, which I hope he isn't, which would mean that they'd go back to not trusting the United States here.
So when questioned by the press about the turbulence so far in the election, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo assured them that the transition to Trump's second term will be smooth. What do you think of that?
Well, look, obviously here in Israel, with over 70% of the population here supporting Donald Trump, we're disappointed that it's even, at this stage. We're really hoping that it would be very obvious on election night that Trump won. So we're really disappointed. We're holding on to hope that something's going to happen in the judicial system, and that everything that they're saying is right, and Trump really is the winner. But we got to hope for the best, prepare for the worst, as they say.
Yes, sir. Golan Heights has been renamed Trump Heights to be settled by risk takers who live around there. Why?
Well, actually, the whole Golan Heights wasn't renamed, but there's a town named for him called Trump Heights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've been there. I guess I would call it risk takers, because if Biden comes in there and he decides he's going to pressure Israel to withdraw from the Golan Heights, even though President Trump recognized the Golan Heights as part of Israel. You don't want to be left holding the bag when Biden pushes Israel to withdraw from the Golan Heights.
Well, speaking of the Golan Heights, while residents there were actually digging to build homes, they found an old fort built around the year 3000 BC, 3,000 years ago, during King David's time. Doesn't this solidify the fact that this Israel is Jewish?
Yeah, look, the biggest problem for the Palestinians and the Arabs in this area is actually archaeology.
Yeah.
When we start to dig the land and you start to find evidence that Jews have been here for thousands of years, that doesn't sit well with the Palestinians and the local Arabs, where they want to claim that, we're newcomers here. And so every time we dig and find something like that, it just cements the case that this is our homeland, and we've been here before anybody.
Sure. Hey, Hamas and UN's Palestinian agencies going broke. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. Well, I think Biden wins. They just got to wait it out, because he's gonna start giving them money again.
Yeah.
That's real. It's a real problem. But yeah, one thing that they are weak, because the Trump administration has been very, very strong about not funding them until they agree not to fund the terrorists. And when they don't have money, they're desperate, but they're weak. And
what will you guys do if Biden decides to move the embassy back to Tel Aviv from Jerusalem?
Well, I don't suspect he's going to do that, but what I am afraid of more is reversing the policy with Iran.
Yeah.
Re-engaging with Iran. That's very worrisome. I'm worried about him starting to give money to the Palestinians, which they use to pay terrorists, which they said they're going to do. I'm worried that they're going to reopen the Palestinian mission in Washington, which Trump closed down, or the U.S. consulate in East Jerusalem, where the Palestinians are. These things are really worrisome. I don't think he's going to move the embassy back, but even if he did, that's more of a symbolic thing. These other things have real consequences on the ground.
Well, here's something that could help Israel, which we both know was my idea. Lebanon's prime minister's brother is telling the government to make peace with Israel. When's it going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing if we signed an agreement with Lebanon. Again, with Biden coming in, I'm afraid he's going to want to go back to the old methods which failed, and have been failures since the beginning of the state. Right? Signing an agreement with Lebanon would be amazing. We signed with the UAE and Bahrain and Sudan and hopefully others to follow. That's the way to peace, not this negotiate with the Palestinians, two-state solution. That has never worked, and it won't work. And we're so concerned that Biden's going to go back to that old path that never bore fruit and never will.
Don't you guys know how the world works by now?
I guess.
Come on. It's not supposed to work in your favor. It's supposed to not work.
Yeah.
That's a normalcy.
Things were going great. Look what happened.
Yeah, my gosh. Hey, other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and contribute?
They can go to our website, IsraelAlliance.org. IsraelAlliance.org.
Rabbi, did you hear about the king in charge of housekeeping?
No.
Yeah, he made a queen sweep. Oh, come on. A queen sweep?
I'm back.
Oh, man, this is terrible. That's JP, in case you're wondering. Of course, all I got crickets was last week. I expected something better this week. So, yeah. Okay.
Is that
better? All right. Yeah, that's better. I don't feel better, but it's good for the rabbi to be part of a successful thing versus a cricket kind of thing, All right, Rabbi. Shabbat shalom to you. Hi to Yonit and the kids. Okay.
You got it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Right. Thank you, brother. All right. Well, I should have used this. Now, am I back? Yep. Okay, I should have used this. When I was telling the rabbi, you should be used to the things going wrong a lot because that's what happens. And it happens to all of us, okay, but not to the extent of some, especially Israel and Jews. The blacks, too. I mean, it's how do you deal with these things? I mean, here's what I should have said. Just when the world is in the palms of your hands, your nose begins to itch. Okay? So you drop everything and you scratch your nose. And then you got the COVID because you're not supposed to scratch your damn nose. What's wrong with you people? Okay, now, we had JJ who said I almost gave him a heart attack on Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah, and also, he reinforced the whole thing about the hemorrhoids and all that, too. So,
you keep bringing that up. I'll never get that out of my mind.
We're getting quite the visuals for a Friday morning, I must say.
How the hell do you twist up somebody's hemorrhoids? I wouldn't know that if I was a damn doctor. Of which, by the way, I went to see my doctor who practically bee-slapped me the last time I came in about 6 months ago because the COVID was just getting started. He's a rheumatoid arthritis doctor. Deals with a lot of old people. And apparently back then a lot of them were dying, and I was, he was just giving me all sorts of hell about it because I was wondering about masks. I was wondering about locking down people. So I took a chance and I went back. I've been with the guy for 22 years, for goodness sakes. He was 3 and I was 22. No, never mind. All right, but he was much nicer. He was wearing not just his regular mask, but he was wearing one of those glass shields, okay? But we started talking, and I says, look, is it true or not that we're spiking in St. Louis? He says, yes, we are. And I says, aren't people dying less? He says, yes. Here's the problem. The problem is the health the health servers, the doctors and nurses, they're all getting COVID, and they're quitting. So you've got people that are in these hospital situations are shorthanded now. Not the beds necessarily, but the people, the staff. So I says, well, what should I do if they want to put me on a ventilator? He says, no way. Call me first. All right. He says, I'm going to give you the best advice I can give you. I says, all right, what is it? He says, don't get sick. Don't get sick. So I went to my Rala restaurant yesterday, which should be open, by the way. Everything should be open except for the fact that you can't eat inside. You can get the food inside and take it out. We haven't conquered that yet. We haven't figured out what to do with that yet. But you will be allowed back in, and we're going to be open 24/7 now. So take that to the bank, I hope. And, it's a rough time. I tell you what, but I have a blast out there in the drive-thru. And the people that are out there, they're all having a blast with me. They're loving it out there. I got the big red finger and the hair hat. I'm doing stand-up comedy while I'm doing this. Most of the customers know to pull up, and it's not their fault. It's McDonald's fault. I need to get outside order taking, and I got to have McDonald's do that. I can't do that. So, all right, now about 8 minutes now, we got Cheryl Chumley coming on. She'll be great, and I want to play a couple of clips to you because my son gave me a lot of crap for not getting through all the clips. But we had interesting callers and interesting interviews, like we're going to have today. So, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Chester out there in north of Doolittle, he says. And see how we're coming in sound-wise. Hopefully he'll let us know that.
Yep, we're getting plenty of comments and all that saying that the audio and everything's coming through loud and clear.
And then I want you to, send me some stuff that you want to know about, and I'll get to them as quickly as I can. But right now, I want you to know that I went through a lot of Google the other day trying to find these Trump montages of them hating on Trump. They took them all out. When you put in Trump hate talk or something like that, they got Trump talking hate. Nothing to do with the mainstream media. I had to go to Bing to get this. So hit the next two. All right, wait a minute. Wait. Is that Chester? All right. Hello, Chester. Thank you for your prompt telephone call. So how are we looking or sounding?
You are coming in very loud and clear.
Good. Any problems?
Excellent.
Thanks.
You also shocked us initially with your opening remark.
Well, did you listen to...
Don't ever do an Orson Welles War of the Worlds again, please.
Yeah, but didn't it clear up when the guy said...
Doesn't matter. No. It's the initial 3 seconds.
Golly. What do I got here?
Initial 3 seconds.
What am I working with here, guys? Come on, you guys are stronger than that.
We are, but
it really scared you guys, huh? You know what? Should I apologize?
Bad news.
Should I apologize?
That's like the guy driving in the that's like the guy driving in the car, and he hears the announcement that there's something about the terrible and he goes into a tunnel, and then when he comes out, it's like it's all over, and he missed the story. Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you for your comments.
I want to comment on your earlier caller there talking about the. How even industrial computers can be easily modified to give false results?
Yes.
Okay, remember the whole scandal just a couple of years ago in Europe with it's in America, with the diesel engines in cars that were fraudulently giving out fake results during testing?
Not really. I don't remember.
What happened was that it was Volkswagen, I believe, and might have been some other companies. Volkswagen diesels, when they would go for the engine testing for exhaust, the computer would switch to a completely different rate, and it would run the engine at the air fuel mix would be different, so that it would pass the test. Of course, the car is running not under nearly as much load. Okay. So even things like that, which you don't even think of as all as being computerized. You think of them as being mechanical, but of course they are all computers now. We do need to get the election process back to paper votes.
Paper and stop the ridiculous mail-in unsolicited ballots.
Oh, that's a completely separate issue. Yeah, that is total fraud. That's complete total fraud. But aside from that, see, the mail-in ballots in themselves are not the problem.
Right.
The problem is that you have absolutely no paper trail, literally, pun not intended. There's no audit trail. There's no identification. Even when you go into a vote, you are at least in theory supposed to present identification, although they've already screwed that up for the last 20 years. But with a mail-in ballot, you have no clue who that came in from.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get, on top of that, the judges and stuff who come up with all these stupid rulings like, well, if the signature doesn't match, you still have to accept it.
Well, here's the thing.
If it comes in after the postmark, it still has to be accepted.
Here's the thing, Chester.
It has to be. This is nothing but fraud by the judges.
In Pennsylvania, the judge ruled with the Trump campaign in that the legislature made the law, and the Supreme Court went and exceeded the time these things could be counted, and he says, no, the legislature makes the law.
No. I know. The state
so
Supreme
they
Court
won that.
Was wrong.
Yeah, the Trump. All right, I got to go, my friend. Thank you so much. Hi to Martha.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, I say we play 2 and 3. All right, thanks.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank. I guarantee it.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
There's a possibility, Nancy, that he could win. No, he's not going to win. It's impossible. He's not going to win. He is not going to win. Don't
think if he becomes the president, he'll make it great, because the states is already.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red capes.
Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say you're not going to be president, all right? It's been fun.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States.
He will never be president of the United States.
Well, colleges across the country trying to console millennials having temper tantrums after Donald Trump's historic victory. They are canceling tests, giving out free hot chocolate, offering therapy dogs, and free passes to skip class to those students who are just so upset. They're also giving them crayons and Play-Doh, which is something I give my 5-year-old.
Winning the most unreal, surreal election we have ever seen. His candidacy starting on an escalator run 1 year ago and going down against 16 Republican candidates.
And now this will be true rebel headquarters as Trump and his cronies begin their march against our freedom.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're from Branson, that was 2016. Okay? So now I got two guys who say they were suffering after my presentation of the alleged Trump concession speech. Is it? No, it's not secession. It's concession speech.
Right.
And it was all a big joke. Oh my God! Actually, I wonder if that's actually making it sound like it was really good. I mean, if you listened, you knew it was a joke. You should have gotten immediate relief. I don't understand.
Well,
I
at least they're listening, I guess. That's a good sign.
Well, you know it was coming, right?
Oh, yeah, I knew it.
What do you think about that, honey?
I thought it was just a tad misleading, because if you weren't tuned in at the exact moment, you wouldn't have heard that it was not factual.
Okay, well, this is why I encourage people.
People depend on you to tell the truth, so just stop
I did.
It.
I told the truth. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke.
Okay, not all your jokes work, honey.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's a sign that it worked or it didn't work.
I know that's
okay,
shocking.
listen. This is a lesson to learn, though, because you ought to. What you ought to do is you ought to you ought to listen, and you ought to listen to the whole show. That way, you get the context.
You need more disclaimers.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. I'm not. I can't say that I'm sorry.
Just run it by me.
I got to think.
Would you run it by me first? Would you?
I wouldn't do anything if I wasn't running it by you. There you go. All right. Now wait a minute. Now we have a very important person on the phone, and you guys are messing around. Stop it. Okay, not you, Cheryl. I know it's Cheryl there. Hi, Cheryl.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
We're gonna play your song, and then we're gonna get into it. You and me.
We are the champions, my friends.
Till the end, don't succeed. Don't conceive. Don't conceive sounds like. Wait a minute, I'm all screwed up now. All right,
get those two words mixed up. We'll have more people calling in.
Okay, I'm sorry, Cheryl. This is terrible. We shouldn't be laughing at this time, should we? Anyways, this woman she's the Washington Times online editor. She's an author, speaker, biker, Novak journalism fellow, and restaurant critic, and the media got us to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Please welcome Cheryl Chumley.
Hey.
Wait a minute.
Guys?
You're a little slow on the uptake.
It lagged on me for a minute.
It lagged on you. Okay. Hi. Okay, Cheryl. So I want to play this clip for you. You remember we were going to do that, right, JJ?
Sure.
I want you to listen and get your reaction.
All right.
Remind me which one it is again?
It was the Cavuto clip, the last one.
There we go.
There you go.
Our position is clear. We want to protect the franchise of the American people. We want an honest, accurate, lawful count. We want maximum sunlight. We want maximum transparency. We want every legal vote to be counted, and we want every illegal vote to be...
I just think we have to be very clear. She's charging, the other side is welcoming fraud and welcoming illegal voting. Unless she has more details to back that up, I can't in good countenance continue showing you this. I want to make sure that maybe they do have something to back that up. But that's an explosive charge to make, that the other side is effectively rigging and cheating. If she does bring proof of that, of course, we'll take you back. So far, she has started saying right at the outset, welcoming fraud, welcoming illegal voting. Not so fast.
Kayleigh McEnany, the official press secretary to the President of the United States. When did she ever claim anything that was wrong there?
Well, the thing that really bothers me about this is that Neil got on his high horse about journalism ethics, but talking about allegations being slung about without proof. But we spent 3.5 years of Russia collusion and all this being talked about on the news daily. And I don't remember Neil Cavuto ever getting on his high horse and making that charge against the other side when he was covering Russia collusion. It kind of defies logic. When I saw Kayleigh McEnany on the TV on Fox, I stopped because I wanted to hear what she had to say. I mean, this is an issue that is on the minds of Americans, not just the 71 million plus who voted for Trump, but all Americans. And you want to hear what are they saying? What are they bringing in the court system? And I was looking forward to getting that clarification. And boom, she got cut off, and for such a ridiculous reason as well.
Well, it seems Fox has been somewhat breached. When you got Neil Cavuto spouting that stuff, was he told, do you think, don't let them get away with anything? Because she's the official press secretary. Let's say she was lying her butt off. So what? Well, that's one thing, and then you can, when she's done, you can comment on it, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. That's the logical way of doing it. That's how it's always done. And I don't know if Cavuto was taking marching orders from higher ups. I do know that since Paul Ryan came aboard the the board at Fox News that there has been a lot of left-leaning type stuff, anti-Trump type stuff coming out in the news part. But it's just, I don't know, it was sickening to me. The idea that you had the White House press secretary who was being censored by a member of the media because of allegations she was making that are being vetted in court. But he gave them, you can never cover any court case until it's completely decided by the judges, because isn't that what court cases are all about? One side alleging, the other side refuting. It doesn't even make sense.
Cheryl, I listened very closely to this a couple of times, and I couldn't detect any allegations. All she was saying is we have to count the legal votes. Basically, that was it. We have to count the legal votes. She didn't say we had legal votes, illegal votes counted. She just said we have to have the legal votes. There was no disclaimer that she said the opposite.
I honestly, I don't know. I'm really disgusted right now.
Okay,
I'm
so what do we
with Fox News?
Where do we go to get the news?
Well,
I mean, you still got
One America News.
Yeah, OAN or Newsmax.
Yeah.
There's a few others, I'm sure. Bongino on Parlay. You're on Parlay, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Do you still do a lot on Twitter too?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, and
Okay.
you know what? Go to Washington Times. That's really
There you go.
that's the place you all need to go.
You are so sharp. I'll tell you what. You always got the chutzpah to plug your paper, which is, by the way, an excellent paper. You ought to go there.
It is. I like it.
I bet you do. Here, and you contrast this to the Russia hoax that Fox covered as if it was the fact, it was the truth. I mean, and it's an outrage. Anyways, what I'm thinking is that if Trump doesn't get enough votes to overturn the election, and they call it, if he call it, he should start his own network and steal the remaining conservative talent from, let's say, Fox and Friends, Hannity, Judge Janine. She got canceled, I believe, or just got yanked. Maria Bartiromo, who's excellent. Have you ever gone on a show with her?
No, I haven't. She is really good, though.
Laura Ingraham, Tucker. You've got Greg Gutfeld, who's really good. You got a couple of the gals that are really good that are commentators. And who else? Jesse Waters is excellent too. So I mean, there's got some. Could you imagine Trump getting a station going with him on 7 days a week, doing 2 hours, and then substituting it with the rest of these people I just mentioned, including Maria Bartiromo? Maybe even Cheryl Chumley.
Nah, I doubt that. But I've heard the whispers about that, and I don't know exactly. I think it was an Axios report that first started that discussion about Trump MAGA TV. And, it's actually kind of a cool idea. I think it would be rather neat of Trump to do that. My question is, though, how many journalists he would actually draw, because the problem with that is that a lot of journalists truly are in it for the journalism. They're not in it to be a talking head for just a politician or just a president or a White House or something like that. And I think a lot of people that you name may have an issue with going to work for somebody who obviously just wants to put forward his own view.
Well, I'm not sure that it would turn out like that. But by the way, I came up with this idea at least a week and a half ago about him going off and starting a station. Now, maybe others did it at the same time I did, but I could see him doing that and then declaring that he's running in 2024.
That would be funny. That would be great.
Would you want to be Joe Biden with him on the air 2 hours a night, 7 days a week, and Kamala and all these, Nancy, and the fact that we're probably going to keep the Senate and the House has lost a lot of seats under Nancy? Would you want to be them, or would you rather be Donald Trump? I think it might be more comfortable to be Donald Trump and come back in 4 years and kick butt.
Oh yeah, I think that would be. I mean, it would be great. It would be just more Trump being Trump, to be honest.
So if we keep the Senate, and it's looking that way, and if we don't keep the Senate, can we trust Manchin to stop Joe from destroying America? He claims that he's not going to vote for the socialistic crap, but he's the same guy that he impeached Trump. He voted to impeach Donald Trump. How are you going to trust a guy like that?
And he's caved on the border issue as well on occasion. It seems like he gets more West Virginia conservative when he's nearing his campaign for re-election, and then when he gets to D.C., he does a lot of talk, but sometimes he doesn't follow through with the actual walk. So it's an uncomfortable idea to think that our democratic republic and its future all comes down to a Democrat senator who talks like he's conservative and limited government, but at the same time doesn't always act that way.
Now, here's a rumor that I'm sure, as an insider in D.C., that you know about. Should Trump declassify all the derogative information on the Democrats? For example, John Roberts being bought off, or either that or somebody holding stuff against him, so he'll vote liberal. Hunter and Joe Biden, John Brennan, Chris Wray, Gina Haskell, all these people that are deep or alleged to be deep in the swamp. Should he declassify all the information? I'm sure he's got plenty.
I'm all for openness and transparency, and I think the government in general just bends over backwards to hide information under guise of national security. But I do think in issues like that there has to be a third look to make sure that we aren't releasing something that could compromise national security. That's all. I just think widespread release without giving it a double check to make sure it doesn't compromise the future of our nation's national security is warranted.
Did Schumer screw the pooch when he said, "Now we take Georgia, then we change America"?
What a nut. I mean, that's just, here's a sitting member of Congress talking about taking down America.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the message he was giving, because he wants to completely kill the Constitution. And to point to Georgia, and what he was getting at is that all these leftists should run to Georgia, establish residency real quick, and then vote. And as Congressman Jody Heiss from Georgia pointed out, that's a felony. So if Democrats do it, I hope the watchdogs are out in full force to hold these people accountable.
I don't know, watchdogs. I think they're going around with blindfolds on, at least in this election. Anyways, the mainstream media is in celebration, and there's no more social distancing. How did that kind of disappear? Aren't you amazed?
Yeah, where's Dr. Fauci with the super spreader? His rhetoric has completely flopped.
Yeah, he's flip-flopping every day. It's incredible. All right. So, do you have anything you want to add?
Do I?
Yeah.
No, it's just, watch out for the socialism coming on steroids now.
Got that.
Just wait for it.
Where can people find you?
On Twitter at CK Chumley at the Washington Times, or on my own website, CherylChumley.com.
How about Parler?
Oh, yes, that's CK Chumley as well. Thank you.
I'm trying to get jiggy with that. It's taken me a while, but I'm trying.
Yeah,
hey,
we need
Cheryl,
to support them. Alternative sites to the censoring ones.
When I was in school, I fell in love with my grammar teacher.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She had me under her spell. Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Cheryl, thank you so much. By the way, we're live streaming on Twitter and Facebook.
Awesome.
I didn't want to say anything because I know you might get nervous.
Yes, I do get nervous with the interviews, don't I?
No, you don't.
Thank you.
You're great. Thank you so much for being the media goddess to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Can I get a little applause? There you go. Thanks, Cheryl. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye now.
Bye-bye. All right, she's great. And in 5 minutes, we got, who do we got? Oh, we got the Latina. Don't we? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we just may have to find a new intro song because it's got good old Biden fan Ricky Martin still on there, so we may have to adjust that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we told her that one of the previous.
So what's happening? So that's going to get stopped, do you think?
Well, no, I'm just saying that, her intro song is from a Ricky Martin song, and he came out in the support of Biden before the election.
Okay.
So we may want to switch that.
Well, maybe he's changed his mind. Now that Liz has got his song, you know. Ricky Martin, this is going to be his song. We're going to do it short and sweet. And
we'll have to have Liz give him a call and all that and see if he'll change his mind on that.
Does he live in Miami?
I don't know if he does now. I think it's where he's originally from. At least when he got famous, he was.
Hey, maybe we can fix him up. Wait a minute, she's married.
Yeah, and I don't think he's interested in females anyway.
Whoa, now that's a charge.
No.
No. It's well known.
It is?
It's well known.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well. You know, I'm
not into women, not into Trump.
I'm not reading the damn National Enquirer like I ought to.
Not
then.
a good fit for Lizzie.
Really? Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks.
So we
I don't want to send her down that road.
This show.
Okay, I don't want to send her down that road. Thanks for letting me know. You know what marriage is? You know what marriage is?
Paradise.
No, it's Chinese word for cut testicles off. That's what it is.
I think that's out of nowhere. I think that's just out of nowhere.
Huh?
That's out of nowhere.
Yeah, all right.
Okay,
yeah.
we have a comment. Okay, that doesn't work, guys. You don't know what catty is. It's between two women, so get your technology straight here.
Okay, well, this is between two men. Don't listen. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we have a Vicky that says, what about MIT invisible quantum tattoo hidden in the coronavirus?
What is it?
Schematic representation of the actions exerted by QDs on SARS-CoV-2 QD, and a lot more technical talk here. So it's talking about hidden tattoos in the vaccine, which was a Bill Gates thing that was discussed
I was up
early
with
on.
it until I heard hidden and tattoo. Then after that, it all got a little bit foggy for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure what she's talking about either.
Well, remember, initially there was this big Gates ID 2020, where he was
you tattoo on somebody who gets the vaccine.
He's testing it in third world countries and stuff, and he wanted to sneak it into the vaccine.
Okay, well,
and they shut that Gates 2020 ID 2020 down.
All right,
but that was the goal to tag us all.
I don't want to be tagged, honey. I'm already tagged. There's too many things. Too many things. I was called too many things last night. My feelings were hurt.
Also, I'd like to.
I was almost angry, but I wasn't. I don't care.
Okay, enough about you.
But what do you mean enough about me? I don't like that.
I'd also like to point out that we're missing Gary today. So
I know.
Shout out to him. I didn't see him on
Well,
Twitter.
you know what? He moved to Parlay.
I saw him on Parlay.
Yeah.
I
sent him something on Twitter.
Okay.
But and he looked like he was active, but I'm sorry. Hi, Gary. If you're listening, my pal, I hope you're on something. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
He's on Parlay.
Well, why would you be? Why would you? You know what? Just before Lizzie, let's play number 4. Okay.
For much of election night, Donald Trump seemed to be leading in a number of key swing states. Then early Wednesday morning, he began to fall behind. That trend continued more or less for several days. On Saturday, the media declared Joe Biden the president-elect. Biden quickly accepted that judgment. The Biden campaign now has something called the Office of the President-elect. It sounds official, which of course is the point of setting it up. And in the end, it's possible it will be official. If, after all the questions have been answered, it becomes clear that Joe Biden is the legitimate winner of the presidential election, we will accept that, and we'll encourage others to accept it too. We're Americans first. We want what is best for this country. We want our system of government to continue. Whether it does continue, though, depends in part on how we proceed from here. As of tonight, tens of millions of Americans suspect that this election was stolen from them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this woman was saved from the evil of Fidel Castro by a great white American shark who snatched her from the communist hands at age 6 and dropped her off in Miami, where she visits Liz and walks the beach with her and her children, Jack and Jill. Please welcome the fiery Latina from Miami, Cuban refugee and proud American, the fiery Latina, Liz Cabrera. You know what I'm going to do, Liz? I'm going to get a gig as announcer for boxing and announce. I could imagine that as introducing you in a fight. You don't fight, do you?
No, I don't. I can't fight. I can only speak, and it's not working yet. I guess I haven't stressed it enough.
Yeah.
How we shouldn't have voted, some of us, not us, for Biden. But anyway, I believe half of it is fake and fraud. I don't know if you're aware, Maria Bartiromo.
Oh, yes. Very
39
aware.
minutes ago, more or less, said massive national security issues. Massive. I'm told dirty Venezuelan and Cuban money behind Dominion. The software also has components from China. This is about to explode.
I certainly hope so, and I hope there's enough votes that it's going to make a difference.
I hope so. What I saw on the ground in Florida, which is the only state that I believe was not taken hostage by the criminal left. Yeah. Thanks to DeSantis and others here that are Republicans for real, and they planned for this because what they did was they got the early voting and they started putting those first, and then as the other ones came in, they weren't behind and they were really overseeing it.
Yeah, the Florida election went like the Florida election went like clockwork, didn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was planned. But also the people that were here were really for Trump. And I really believe that most of the people are really with Trump. I truly believe this has been a hijacked election.
So what's the mood? What's the mood in Florida, South Florida, where you're at? Are people accepting Biden, or are they thinking they were robbed?
Nobody accepts Biden. I just think the mood right now is kind of morbid. You know what I mean?
Morbid.
We're almost like, I would say everybody's like in shock. We fought very hard, and it's almost like, what do we do next? I mean, how can we?
Well,
help?
listen,
we did everything we could.
You won Florida.
Yes,
I won Missouri. I didn't win it by myself.
Yeah,
but I mean, we kicked butt here. We kicked butt. We got a great senator instead of Claire McCaskill. We got Josh Hawley. How cool is that? And they asked the governor Parsons when did Missouri become this conservative all of a sudden? He says it was about 12 years ago.
Exactly.
And that's when I started my show 12 years ago.
You know,
it wasn't 9 years ago. It wasn't 9 years ago. It was 9 years ago. It was 12 times. Yeah, no, it wasn't 9 times. I was only canceled twice, not 9 times. But it was 12 years ago that I started my show. And let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. You just reminded me how funny. Let me tell you something.
That should cheer you up. That should cheer you up.
It is so funny when you do that.
So, Liz,
I'm hearing myself.
I'm going to bring you down again. How many lists are you on? Do you know?
Oh, my God. Let me tell you something. Twitter again. We're back to this thing where I can't be in my computer and be in the phone. So right now I'm in the computer because I wanted to keep track of you, but I can't be on my phone, but I'm on my phone talking to you. It's the most confusing thing you ever want to experience. I'm in the same house, same Wi-Fi. I have everything on the level. Yeah. And whenever they want to turn me down, my voice, make me be quiet, they remove followers. Right now I'm talking about 2,000 followers removed, which I expected it after the election. And then they're doing the same thing to me. I sign in the computer. I can't use my phone. So I use my phone around the house when, say I'm in bed and I'm seeing something, I'm tweeting on the phone. And then other times I like to do it at the computer. But if they lock one down, then my voice doesn't get out there. They're very intelligent. They're communists.
Yeah. They're doing it to me, too. They're doing it to so many conservatives. Have you considered going to Parler?
I'm on Parler now. Yeah,
Oh,
I've
good.
been on Parler. I got like 15,000 followers there, but I wasn't really actively tweeting in there, putting my thoughts in there. I started recently because I am seeing also a lot of patriots that are fleeing the ship.
Yep.
And actually, people have direct messaged me and asked me, Liz, are you going to Parler? And then I tell people, I've been on Party. I just, honestly, I like the platform of Twitter better, and I shouldn't be giving it any credit.
Yeah, me too.
In the sense that it kind of flows better. Parler is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And you put your comments and you don't know where you're putting it to, and you really are not connecting with the people you really want to connect with.
It needs some work. I can't. It's hard for me to figure out, too.
I can't figure it out. And trust me, I can figure out many things. This one is just beyond me. And besides,
Lisa, do you understand Parler?
Listen to me. Trump ain't there.
Huh? Do you understand Parler?
We watched that tutorial on it yesterday, remember?
Did it work,
yeah, but I was
Lisa?
tired. I couldn't watch it.
Okay.
There's a tutorial on Parlay.
That we watched, yeah.
I got to watch it again
It
when
was
I'm awake.
helpful, but it didn't connect all the dots, like you say.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
just isn't. Look, I know when I'm tweeting Lisa, I'm going to get Lisa. I'm tweeting Dave, I'm going to get Dave. I'm
Right.
tweeting to Michael John, I'm going to get Michael John.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get response from the people that.
What about
is in my circle.
all your communications with President Trump and Don Jr.?
Well, we try. We're
Yeah,
always tweeting to them.
I'm sure they're
and
reading
believe
it.
it or not, they're seeing it. I think they see
so.
some things.
I think so. Hey, if the race is certified for Biden, should Trump make a network starring him 7 days a week and steal the conservatives from Fox and then run in 2024? God forbid he has to do that.
2024, but you know something? I'm going to tell you what I think.
Tell me what you think.
From my heart.
Okay.
And you know I love my president. I think that him running in 2024 is not the same as him winning it now.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And if I were him, me being him, not Trump being Trump, I would just say no. I wouldn't do it. And you know why? Because he's already close to the age where he needs to enjoy his life. They put him through heck, not to say another word here on radio because it's unpolite and rude.
Yeah, don't say hell on this show. Do not say hell on this show. You stop that. Nobody says hell on this show.
Good. So,
Okay.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God, you're great. I wouldn't do it. You know what I would do? Get
What?
all my freaking money, move into an island, let my children run the show. I don't know what the heck, but I would not run.
You know what? I could see him getting Don Jr. or even Ivanka. Why not Ivanka? However, this he's an animal. And I mean that in a nice term. He's an animal. He can't stop working. He's addicted to work. And that's the kind of guy we need as president. I think he'd want to run
Exactly.
again.
Not only that, he's a genius.
Yeah, he really is. I
He
would agree
doesn't
with
give
that.
up.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as giving up. You've got to admire a man that at his age has that much testosterone that he's continuing to fight when others would have said, okay, Joe.
You know.
Biden, hello, I'm quitting.
Yeah.
Trump says, hell no, I'm not quitting.
You know what?
I'm bringing the masses with me.
I'm 72, and he's a total inspiration for me. You know, when I feel like giving up, I mean, I watch this guy and I says, you know what? I can't give up.
No, you can't give up.
JP wants to say something
here. The moment we give up at any age, you're giving up on life.
It's over.
You're giving up. It's over.
Yeah.
You might as well just go plan your funeral somewhere.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a quitter's mentality.
Quiet, because Lisa's already planning mine, I think. So.
Oh, no, she's not. No, she's not.
No.
I know.
You have a 20-year obligation minimum. That comes
I have a 20-year-old?
20-year minimum.
Oh, sorry,
obligation.
I misunderstood.
It's in the paperwork.
20-year obligation. There you go.
20-year obligation.
In the paperwork.
Okay.
Read the fine print.
Read the fine
and
print.
fine print and everything.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
Lisa,
we've been
you're
together
so
about
wonderful.
8 years now, so that I got 12 more years.
Almost halfway there.
There you go. Okay.
Keep counting, Weinbaum.
So what do you think about the tug of war between good and evil at Fox?
Oh my God, I'm sick of them.
Well, can you tell me something about it?
I just can't stand them. I can't stand to watch Rabbi anymore. I can't stand to watch that Williams guy. I can't stand to watch Donna Brazil because they're full of it, and they show their true colors. And I hate people that are hypocrites.
Yeah.
I don't care what you tell me. You can tell me, Liz, I don't like you. I'm going to unfollow you. I'm going to block you. I hate your guts. You're a narcissist. You're whatever you want to call me. Just do it. Don't talk behind my back. Don't pretend to be my friend. Don't pretend you're in politics for one person and be for another. Geraldo Rivera, another one. I mean, there's so many that I could name that I would sit here for. The list, remember? I just remember the list you said we were going to make. How about your list?
My list?
Yeah.
I'm just making a list for Santa Claus.
And
I'm a Jewish Santa Claus. I played Santa Claus once.
Jewish.
I know.
I love it.
Well, I played Santa Claus one year.
both.
Did they know any different? No. I'm not even sure my own grandchildren knew that. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, so I wanted to play off the comment that Liz said about Trump being a genius. I read this thing where what they're saying, this guy came out and actually did an interview on Alex Jones and his platforms talking about Trump obviously saw this coming. He's been talking about voter fraud and how they were going to use COVID to entice people to do the absentee ballots so they could, make this easier to do. That they've actually, especially in the swing states, because they knew what states they could count on and what states they were going to lose, but they had the swing states that could go either way potentially. In those swing states, they watermarked these ballots with QR codes where they could track them. And what they're doing is, if you notice, Trump keeps talking about we have evidence. But then he doesn't come on and talk about what evidence they have. I think he's letting them put all their chips on the table, put all their cards out, and they're going to say, okay, here's how I can prove it. And they're going to prove that this is fraudulent, and he's going to retake it.
Yeah, I keep hearing about the watermark.
I keep hearing
IDs.
it, too, and it sounds pretty legit.
But we were told like 3 or 4 days ago that arrests would be made today. And
I think that you have to take time for it to materialize.
I know something's going down today. That the judge is going to decide something for either Trump or against Trump today.
Okay. Well,
the evidence will be presented, I guess, and they'll be making a judgment on that today. Being Friday the 13th, Trump Jr. was just saying comments about that too. I'm venture to say that maybe something good will come for Trump. I really believe that computer systems don't work like this. They operate by a programmer coding the machine in a certain way, making something happen. It is just way too suspicious that everybody's going for Biden. It just all of a sudden.
I don't think it's an accident. I think these things were controlled. These things don't. Why do we have voting machines that come from Venezuela, Cuba?
Exactly.
American made. Let's go for it.
Yeah, come on, crazy.
And let me tell you something. I'm very concerned because let me tell you something. If Biden gets in office, Hillary's going to be in power there.
I didn't hear that first part. Wait a minute.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. Okay, all right, I got that now. All right.
Oh, and I want to make another point about Trump, too.
Yeah.
This relates because, he was in Home Alone 2, right? He's the only one when he went to the Plaza Hotel. He was the only one that showed Kevin how to get to the front desk. And everybody else ignored him.
I saw that.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
I saw that.
All right.
I think where you're going with this.
So do you agree that Trump should never concede? Do you agree with that?
No.
Now, who gave that kind of advice? Who would give him that kind of advice? Do you know who gave that kind of advice?
I would think, first of all, God. Second of all, Giuliani.
And third of all, Hillary Rodham Clinton. She told Biden, never concede. So why shouldn't that go for Trump, too?
And ask Al Gore, too, because back in 2000, he didn't either.
Exactly. This is not the first time this happens in history. They act like they're so shocked. Why should we be shocked of a stolen election? We've always known that there's a left and a right, and they don't see eye to eye. The problem that we have is that we don't see eye to eye. We need to come to a middle point, but we are not there yet, and it's going to take a while. And I hope to God Trump is not the person that will have to bear that cross for all of us to realize what was happening to our country, although he was excellent in pointing it out to us. I believe he's going to win still.
All right, now here's a very important question. Very important. Go. Joe's Stone Crab is reopening. 107 years old. 35% of the crab claw business, 400 employees. Have you ever been there?
Yes.
What do you think?
It's a good place. Why? Why are you asking me that?
Because it's reopening. It was closed. It's 107 years old.
Because of Joe Biden?
Yeah, Joe. No. Joe's Stone Crabs. It's a restaurant.
I got to make
Not
a comment.
Joe Biden. No, I never made that connection. Let me tell you something. I wasn't connecting it to Joe Biden.
I got to tell you something, though. Have you heard the clip from Whoopi Goldberg on The View from the other day? Now that Joe Biden is president-elect, they start talking about now the vaccine for COVID is going to be released. She was all, I'm so happy. All that because, thanks to Joe Biden for it getting released. And it's like, he's not president. What do they not understand about that?
Yeah. Well, they understand it, and Cuomo said, well, that's awful because, Trump is going to make he's going to be the one to make the distribution. So
exactly. Do you realize how everybody on Twitter, I don't know if you've realized, everybody, I was going to do it the other day, then I removed it because Dave is, Dave, and he named me Fiery Latina, but I had a Fiery Latina President-elect, Elise Cabrera, 55. Everybody's putting in their pages, President-elect, so-and-so, President-elect, this and that.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're making a joke, like saying, President-elect, you're still not my president. It's Friday the 13th, and you're still not my president.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I got to get going. I got another interview coming up, and always a pleasure to talk to you. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find you?
Twitter, at Dave, and at Parler. Facebook.
Liz, I don't know if you know this about me, but I used to live in a gated community, but they let me out for good behavior.
I'm sure that happened. I won't even ask why. Ask Lisa, so start with that whip.
Don't tell anyone else, please. I'm begging you. I don't want that on my record.
We have to use that whip. You're right.
All right. You got Twitter and Facebook. Don't tell anybody, please. I'm begging you. All right. Thank you, Liz. Have a great weekend. What was that?
Bye.
The whip.
Oh my God!
Whip time.
Oh, there's getting to be a little bit of a cult up here, and I kind of like it.
See Lordy.
That hurt.
Bye, Liz.
That hurt so good.
Bye, Liz. Lisa, please. Well, you're being good.
Lisa, leave me alone. Stop it. All right. Bye. Have a good weekend. All right.
You too.
We got. What do we got? Do we have a phone call?
We had somebody that tried to call in. Yeah, but we're about 2 minutes out from Elad. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
you like me more?
No, I don't. No, come on. I got other stuff I got to do. Liz, hang up. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself, okay?
Bye.
You tell other people, let me tell you something now. Okay?
Let me tell you something. Liz is the boss here.
All right. Bye, Liz.
And Davy's over there.
Yeah, okay. All right. Bye. Okay, we got Elad coming up next. Why don't we play the next clip? Okay.
Well, we have a comment on one of your groups we shared too.
Yes.
Rob from National Tea Party says that we asked about what they think about the whole election process, and he says the Democrats are corrupt and should be jailed for treason. Trump is the president-elect. So we like that line of thinking.
I think it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I think you're right about Trump. There's no way he went into this blind. No. He knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it sounds like something that would happen, that he would have some way to figure this out. Now, how could he legally do that to the voting things? How could he legally get them watermarked?
Well, he's president, though. I mean, make sure it's a clean election for the American people.
I don't know. Okay. Yep. And keep it secret? Wow. Who else knew?
That'd be something if they did pull that
off.
If
they pulled that off, wow. Then you're dealing with a chess player who's playing against people who can't even play checkers.
Exactly.
They can't even play hopscotch. And that would be wunderbar. What would the press say then? That would be just wunderbar. They haven't figured this guy out. They walk around like he's dumb, and he's twice as smart as any of them, and any combination of them. quite frankly. And
it wouldn't take a big combination because they can't rack anything as far as IQ goes.
No. All right. Anything else on Facebook?
It seems like there was a comment in another group. I'm looking for that now.
Okay. All right.
We want to thank all the groups, and we want to thank the individuals like JL.
Yeah.
And others that shared with us. So thank you very much.
Well, we have somebody on the phone now. I don't know who this is, but I think we're going to play a song for him. And why don't you go ahead and hit it?
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to L.A. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, South Florida. Did we get the songs mixed up somehow? Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, South Florida powerhouse. Don't say a bad word about it, though. Do not say a bad word. You won't do that. I know you won't. South Florida powerhouse lawyer, expert on law and politics, writes for Epic News, The Federalist, Washington Examiner, and others. Please welcome the Perry Mason to the Dave Weinbaum Show, Elad Hakim. So he moved up the road a bit from Miami. We just talked to Liz Cabrera in Miami. Now we're in the northern part a little bit, Boca Raton. Elad, how are you? Did you recognize the person on that song?
I did. It sounded really nice. I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. You had a procedure the other day. Are you all right?
Yeah, thank God. Everything's good.
Good. All right. Well, good. I hope it didn't hurt too much, whatever it was.
Nah.
Seems like the Dems, had enough ballots to drag Joe over the line. Is it not circumstantial evidence that Republicans won 99% of the state houses, 6 to 10 more seats in the House, and probably are going to keep the Senate? Isn't it show that the whole thing of the election was going for the Republicans? Why not the presidency?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know if it's circumstantial evidence. It just kind of lends more question to how Trump could lose the presidency after garnering more than 70 million votes, and after, like you said, Republicans picked up many House seats and will hopefully, and that's a big hopefully, retain the Senate. They haven't done so yet because there's the runoff in Georgia. Assuming that the two people there, the two candidates, don't pick up additional votes on the recount.
Yeah. Hey, I don't remember, but, in the Bush-Gore elections, did the press and the Democrats demand Al Gore concede immediately?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Well,
you
why
know
not?
that. There was no request. He had over 30 days and
37 days.
And the Supreme Court.
Not 9 days. 37. He had 37 days. It was not 9 days.
No, not even close.
Yeah. What do I have to do? Do it myself? Sure. Well, no, I can't do it. I can't reach. I have alligator arms. What's wrong with you? Hit it.
9 times.
Right.
9
Not
times.
9 days. It was 37 days. Anyways, I've got a reluctant producer over there. I guess he's got alligator arms too. Hey, what happens if Donald Trump doesn't concede and it goes all the way to the House of Representatives? Do you ever think about that? Do you ever look into that?
Well, it's a little bit. It's a lot tricky, but I think part of it depends is if he doesn't concede and no one gets to 270, it's one thing. If somebody gets to 270 and if Biden gets the 270 and he doesn't concede, then and the votes are certified. Then he basically loses, and he'll be taken out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but if it's a contested election, if somehow it's 269, or if no one reaches 270, then it gets a little tricky, because then you may have the 12th Amendment that kicks in, and you'll have a determination by the House as to who's president. So it gets tricky there.
Is that the 12th Amendment where the House makes a decision?
It's premature to say right now.
Is that the 12th Amendment where the House makes the decision?
Yeah, I mean, the 12th Amendment kind of comes in, for example, if there's a tie, 269, or if no one reaches the 270 threshold, then the House can come in and determine the number, which the not the House. I'm not talking about the House and Congress.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the number of seats that are held throughout the 50 states. And right now, Republicans control that, and they also control the Senate. So
now, are you sure about this? Are you sure that if he gets certified 270, he's in? Because Hillary's advice to Joe Biden was never concede. You are never to concede. Because she always thought the votes would still come in and take away the 270. You see? So why don't we just listen to Hillary?
This has all the earmarks of a planned out coup attempt.
No kidding.
It just really does. And
no, it's actually the peak of the coup right here. This is a 5-year coup. Yeah.
You can't look at the American public. That's the irony. The people seem to have gotten it right. It's the fact that there is apparently so much going on behind the scenes that may serve to take this election away.
Yeah. Hey, in a challenged tweet, Trump claims 2.7 million. Now, this was challenged by Twitter, of all things. 2.7 million votes were stolen in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Nevada. And there could have been one or two others. I don't know. But did I say Wisconsin? Yeah, I did. And they were given to Biden. They took votes away from him and given to Biden. Isn't that about a 5.2 million differential? You think that might be enough votes?
Much of these were. You need to have proof.
Well, I know. Much of these were dumped in the middle of the night. We were just discussing something. JP brought it up. Bring out what you were just talking about, JP.
So there's people claiming that Trump knew this was coming, that there would be voter fraud. So especially in the swing states, they actually did like a watermarking on the ballot where they could electronically trace them with some kind of Q code, and that way make sure that they were legitimate votes and not fraudulent ballots.
Yeah. So if they did this on a huge scale in the swing states where things were, that things went haywire there for the Democrats, it sounds like, because they stopped voting in unison in these swing states, and all of a sudden they were getting deliveries in the middle of the night and kicking out the Trump viewers. So I know you're a lawyer, and you know what? You're paid to be conservative in such a way that it's not likely to happen. But just in case they can prove this, and just in case it goes to the Supreme Court, where I think we've got an advantage now, do you think he's got a chance?
Look, he's always got a chance. I think it's a very, very small chance. I mean, I think it's an uphill battle, because right now the Supreme Court's only looking at Pennsylvania. So, and he's got to carry a bunch of different states in order to win this. I'm aware of the story regarding the watermarks. I've seen it. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, I saw it about a week ago. I don't know if it's true. Look, it's very, very difficult to prove fraud. It's very difficult. I mean, these affidavits, some of these judges, I think there's a decision that's supposed to come out from Michigan within the next hour or so. So we'll see. Does he have a chance? Yes. Is it good? I don't think it's that great. It's a very uphill road for him. It's really, really uphill. Okay. And the Supreme Court, obviously, it would have to agree to hear additional cases, And you have to be able to show, a systemic type of fraud.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Republicans are trying to gather so many affidavits. But fraud is difficult. Fraud is really difficult. These affidavits, yes, they're evidence, but you need to be able to show what these people claim in their affidavits. So it's hard. It's really hard.
It's going to be tough if they can. I think it's going to be a big advantage if they can show that thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ballots show up in the middle of the night from out-of-state vans and cars and things like that. That, let's say 100,000 are dropped off in Detroit, maybe in other places too, like Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, that in unison, these are all votes for who? Joe Biden, not one for Trump. It sounds like they were driven to desperation because they were losing. Now, if they can prove that, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they can prove that, if they can prove it, not just say it.
Right.
Like, yeah, they have people that trucks came and brought ballots. They have to be able to show that the ballots were, helped Biden. In other words, you have to be able to take it from step A to step Z, and it's difficult. But yeah, listen, if they can show it, then that's a possibility. But it's really hard. It's really, really hard. This was a well-coordinated effort. That's what it seems like. And look, you can pray. I mean, you have to pray that Trump prevails, because you already see the policies that Biden is pushing.
I'd like to think that we're actively, you and me and others, are doing the right thing and pushing what we think God wants us to do. Now, I'm not saying don't pray. I'm saying let's give our effort to what we think God wants us to do, and then we pray. But I think we got to take action. We can't depend on God, because I don't believe God works that way. I think He works in conjunction with effort on our part. Don't you?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, I was thinking to myself, why would God allow something like this to happen? But yeah, listen, I think that people have to push. There have to be large crowd gatherings, rallies. Part of which is also to support the political side of this, to show that Americans, 70+ million Americans, don't want to be disenfranchised. I mean, we all voted, and our votes are basically not counting now if the other side committed any sort of fraudulent activity. But yeah, listen, that's interesting, Dave. Whether or not God has all this planned out, regardless of what we do, I don't know. I wish I knew the answer to that question.
Well, I'm sure plenty of people during the Holocaust prayed, but it wasn't enough. Now, that's a horrible example to use, but okay. We weren't ready to handle that. And I think God wants us to be ready and at least make the effort. If He's gonna spread the waters and let Moses through, Moses has to get to the waters. He can't just wait around. God told him to do it. He's got to do it. Anyways, I'm getting off my Bible thing now. All right, let me just say this: people who let things happen tend to lose to people who make things happen.
I agree with that.
All right, that's one of my famous quotes. Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, and by the way, I just wanted to mention that the singer of that song was your lovely wife, Dr. Amy Cooper Hakeem, and I wanted to make sure I got that on there. I'm sure you found that pleasant to listen to. She's very good, and I appreciate her, and I hope you pass that along to her that she was on the show today, even though she didn't know it.
I'm going to let her know.
All right.
I'll let her know right when we finish.
Other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and hire you? I actually put, you know what I wrote down? I said, other than DaveWeinbaum.net, where can people find and hide you? I swear to God.
You know what? I'm sure there are some people that want to do that.
No, I'm not with the mafia. I promise. I do Sicilian moments, but they're just on the show. There's nothing going on here.
They can find me at Thoughtfully Conservative on Facebook and at Thoughtful GOP on Twitter. And then the Thoughtful GOP on Parler also, or Thoughtfully Conservative. And then just look me up if you have any legal questions. Are you on Parler?
Yeah, I am. And I'm moving. I got my U-Haul half packed. I'm trying to move there. We're having difficulties figuring it out. Have you figured this out?
No, it's hard. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm trying too, and it's very confusing. My wife, who's an expert at all things in media, and on the computer, we're trying to figure that out too. And she gave me a tutorial on it. What was it, yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, and I was asleep. Basically, my mind was gone.
Yeah, but you're never paying any attention, so how can I
tell
the difference?
I can't do that on Thursday. I'm prepping for guys for these tough lawyers like Elad Hakim.
Sorry,
I can't
Elad.
come up here and say, duh. I have to have some stuff for this guy. I have to challenge his brain.
Calm down just a little.
All right, I'm calm. All right, Elad, sorry about that little rant. I had a ranch full of soccer playing animals. They were my farm team. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, stop. It's too late. Yeah, those were the cats out there. They were clawing each other for the ball. I think it's illegal, though. All right, my friend, have a great Shabbat Shalom. Hi to your lovely bride and your kids.
Thanks, guys. Shabbat Shalom. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, in case we got about 5 minutes left, guys. If you want to call 57, I didn't even mention the phone call. The phone 573-578-2700. Get it off your chest.
Calling somebody back right now that called earlier.
That's fine. It's probably the IRS. Hello.
Yes.
Hi there. Welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. Did you call me earlier?
Yes, it's JL, Dave.
Oh, JL. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. Thank you, Dave. Hey, man, Liz Cabrera, I've got to go along with her on the Fox thing. I can't watch it anymore.
What's the matter? You can't watch Fox anymore?
Well,
none of us can, except you.
Hey, man. Thank you, Miss Lisa.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, where else are you going to get the news? I mean, it's hard. I guess you can go on Newsmax or
Newsmax
OAN.
For you this week.
OAN is, I can't get it, okay?
I found Newsmax for you this week.
Newsmax, I like that. They're a good outfit. All right, but, anyways, so what else can I do for you?
Well, it's just that, and who came up with the voting apps and stuff? Did you find out about that? Who come up with those? Who made the software? Do you know who that was?
Yeah, probably Democrats, I would guess.
Yeah, yes. Bill Gates in China.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we really want China on our elections because, after all,
makes sense, right?
Joe Biden is an employee of China, literally.
Yes, he is. You are 100% correct.
It's amazing. All right, you say that you get kicked off Twitter.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's sad.
Did you hear about the tiny movie starlet?
No.
Yeah, she was a sex thimble.
Thumbs up, Dave.
Right.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Hey, you like that? All right.
What about the tip? I got one for you. But teachers asking their children, what do chickens give you? Little Betty says, meat.
Yeah.
Teacher says, great, very good. All right. What do pigs give you? Little Johnny says, bacon. Teacher, very good, very good. Okay. What does a fat cow give you? Little Bill says, homework.
All righty. You just insulted all the teachers in the world. Thank you, JL. I'm done as a host because I'm sure the schools will now boycott me. Thank you, JL. You have a great weekend. Thanks for ending my career.
Love you guys. God bless.
Thanks for ending my career. All righty. Somebody had to do it, and it was him stabbing me in the last minute of my show.
We just didn't see that coming.
I didn't see it coming, man. Alive. You never know when it's going to happen. You never know when the engine's going to drop on your head. Like the palms of your hands. You think you got everything going, and all of a sudden, all this all of a sudden your ears start to itch, or your eyes, or whatever, your nose.
You can't do anything about it.
No, you can't do anything about it. All right, anybody want to call in the last minute, you're welcome to do it. Honey, you got anything?
I'm sorry, I'm checking my email.
Honey, we've got we're probably out of time already. We're going to close the show down, and you're checking your email? Can you wait a minute?
Apparently I'm done.
We did have another comment on Facebook.
What's that?
Ellen made the point, and she's right, that if the left gets away with it this time, then that'll never stop, and this country will start heading toward how California is.
Well, that's the way it is, you know. Hi there, welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Pastor Pat.
Hiya, Pastor Pat. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, I just had to report in, hearing that about God and prayer and all that. You know
good.
You know how my
am
work
I wrong?
goes, so
am I wrong?
I just believe that it takes both. It takes God moving, and it takes people praying and moving with God, and doing all that we can. And I still just stand my ground that between what we're picking up and what prophets are picking up, this thing's turning, this thing's shifting. I don't know what it will be that will cause it to shift exactly and to change, but between all of it, God, prayer, us standing and doing what we know to do, this thing's going to...
Hello? Whoops.
Hello?
Yeah. You suddenly disappeared.
Oh, I think somebody beeped in my phone.
Oh, okay. All right, JL, stop calling your mom, all right? Jeez. Can you let her be on the show without interrupting?
Sorry.
Yeah, right. All right, well, you know, so it's a combination, right? But you can't just pray. You got to do something about it. You know?
Yes.
Well, and people did. I mean, even the left media is reporting that over 72 million people voted for Trump. So
yeah,
that's how much more percentage than even 2016.
When you were talking about Pharaoh and you were talking about the army, when they were marching toward the Red Sea, God did a miracle.
Right.
And all of Pharaoh's army was lost because they had backed the Israelites up into a corner. And so God rolled up his sleeves and said, "This is it." And they were drowned in the Red Sea.
Yeah. So if they hadn't followed the dictate to get to the Red Sea, I don't know what God would have done. I hate to think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, but they made the effort
and,
to do that.
I really like that color, Red Sea.
Red Sea. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that.
See, and I put on my Facebook the day I voted that I was hoping for a red tsunami. So
red tsunami, as did I. All right. Well, thank you, Pastor Pat. You're always welcome on the show. And report on your boy as he got a raise and he's doing good. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Way to
go, Steve.
Hi to your husband. Okay?
All right. Uh-huh.
All right, Pastor Pat. You have a great weekend. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, I guess we're going to shut her down because we have nothing else. So right.
No further comments.
All right, listen, thank you so much. I hope we came out really good on Twitter. I thought it was a good show. I'm going to listen to it again. I'm sorry if anybody got dismayed because of, my opening bit. Trump did not concede. Hopefully he will never concede. And if they're going to take it away from him, they ought to pry it out of his hands, quite frankly, because he's praying it. They'll be prying it out of not only his hands, but all of ours collectively. You know, we're going to do what Hillary said. Don't concede. This is the Dave Weinbaum Show. I'll be back with another edition of the Dave Weinbaum Show next week. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.